Yeah, you think you got the best of me.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can see from the intro, this is a Chanel bag collection haul. This has been a long time coming because I do have a bit of a reputation for being a Chanel hoarder, addict, whatever you want to call it. So I think I have a bit of everything to share with you. I could have done this video in about 10-15 minutes, but I really don't see the point of saying, oh, here are my 15, 20, we need to count actually because I'm not too sure. Here are my 20 Chanel bags and then show you each colour. I want to tell you the story behind them, roughly how much of them cost. I want to talk to you about price increase, how you look after them, colour transfer, literally and every story I have behind it. And this is because you've been requesting it for so long, and I just did a live Instagram video and asked you what you wanted to hear before I filmed. This is something I'm going to start doing, so if you're not following me on Instagram and you don't find my videos useful enough, or I'm not quite giving you what you want, then I'll announce it just as I'm about to film and you can tell me exactly what you want to hear. So my hair's a mess, I'm very tired, I just got back from Paris, I went there with Chloe. I'm going to get that vlog out really soon. It's very cold as well, that's why I've got this chunky knit. And if you didn't see my last haul, that's worth a check because it's nearly an hour long, but it's got so many amazing pieces, including this. I'm actually feeling hot because this ring light. And I've also got a reveal to share with you, which I've had for a week now, but I've been traveling and haven't opened it. So I can't wait to open this, and we're going to do this first. I think that's the intro, and let's get into it. Okay, so my new, let's move this over. My new Chanel bag that I've got, it came wrapped exactly like this, and that's because it's brand new. And you might be thinking, well, that's what happens when you buy a bag, but this bag is from Vestiaire Collective. You've heard me talk about Vestiaire quite a few times on my channel, on my blog, on my Instagram. Let's just show you the bag first. And here it is. So it's the Gabrielle backpack, and I got it, it's completely pristine, and I got it in the white leather with the black base. Oh my god, it literally is pristine. So and I love it that it's got the steel and gold, yellow gold chain. I really love that. That's not everybody's taste, but I really like that about this. So for everyone who helped me on Instagram decide on this bag, thank you, it really was a massive help. I was choosing between the Gabrielle crossbody in this colour, all black, the white tweed version, and then another one that I couldn't remember, and the majority of you said this one, so I literally listened to what you said. I decided I wanted it. They were all brand new collection, and then I went to lots of different Chanels, including in Cannes, which I don't like buying in France now, which I'll tell you about that later, and they didn't have it. So you've heard me talk about Vestiaire Collective, about it being a great place to shop online for pre-loved. So Vestiaire is a pre-loved website that you've heard me talk about a lot, and I've only ever talked about the obvious reasons of shopping. If you want something vintage, you want something from last season, you want something from 10 seasons ago, or the obvious thing is to find something cheaper than retail. What I haven't told you about, and I don't know how I missed this, but I often shop on Vestiaire if I want something that's new out, but I want it now. So this was new season, but England didn't have it yet. And France had it, but they'd all sold out, and I wanted it now. So even though I could have got it in the shop and waited, I thought maybe there's someone from another country that's selling with Vestiaire, and that country had it before us. So I ended up getting this bag before it came to the UK, because the person that I bought it off of wasn't from the UK, and the country that she was from obviously had it before us. So it's a great way of getting a bag first. For some reason, America seemed to get everything before Europe, which is the strangest thing, seeing as it's a European bag, brand bag. So that's a top tip. If you want something first, try it, Vestiaire, and you might get it before your own country gets it. Another reason that's good to shop is that some countries are cheaper than others. So you might pay the exact retail price, or depending on what country you're from and what country the seller's from, you might actually get it cheaper than the Chanel boutique or whatever the boutique is. So that's two reasons why you should shop pre-loved on a collection that's already out. I hope that makes sense. So it worked with me. I got this bag before it was in store, still haven't seen it in store yet, and it's absolutely immaculate. I was really lucky and I paid the exact same price as what it was in store. I just got it before anybody else in the UK, and it's pristine, so I'm really happy with that. I think it looks best when you hold it like down the side like this, because it's so light, so comfortable to wear, or I would wear it like this, and then it would be really easy to access. I am a little bit wary of wearing a backpack on the back because too many opportunists out there, but when I'm in a safe place I still think it's a great bag to have on your back, and it actually fits quite a lot. So if I just compare this to my iPhone 7 Plus, oh, I know my new phone case is a bit much. So it's more than roomy to fit an iPhone 7 Plus, and this is the smallest size. I'll link it below on to Vestio where I sold it. Obviously my one's already gone, but then if you click underneath the bag that's on the website, you can click notify me when it comes in, and that's how I got this. I saw one before in black and I clicked on notify it when it comes in, and I got a notification in the middle of the night because I was actually in Aruba when I bought it, and I got it there and then overnight, so I really recommend clicking the notify. Okay, so that's the reveal. This video is going to be long, I can tell, and I'm also going to take this off because I'm already getting really hot, and that's cashmere, so it gets super, super hot. And let me show you my skirt. I know so many of you think I veer off, but I like to show you what I'm wearing as well. So this skirt, I got it yesterday. It's the most flattering leather skirt I've ever found. It's got the scallop here and at the side, so it's extremely elongating for your leg. The leather is perfect, and it was $111. It really is the best investment for a leather skirt if you're looking to get one. So, and I think that this will go really nice with my outfit that I have on. So let's get into it, because we've got a lot of bags to get through, and I'm going to try and answer as many questions as possible. And I'm literally going to start with the order of how I bought them. My hair's a mess. Because then I can just tell you the different backstories. Okay, so this was my first ever Chanel bag. I think I was 23. I think I was 22, 23, I was working at Harrods. I used to get 10% discount off of Chanel, and I got my 10% off. This is actually the large size. The medium is slightly smaller, comes to about here, which wasn't big enough for me, and this is still my favourite size classic flap. The chain is, I love holding it like this. I love all the different lengths and ways to wear this classic flap. I still think it's one of the best bags of all time. It's extremely practical with the back flap. And this, and oh, there's one thing that's really important about this. So if you see a bag that's pre-loved and you see that it's black inside, it doesn't mean that it's fake. I certainly do not have a fake bag. I need to check the date that I got this, but I'm pretty sure it was 2012 that this had always been black inside, and then from 2012 they made it burgundy inside because literally women were complaining that they couldn't see everything inside, so they made it burgundy so that this was easier to find. So I'm pretty sure I bought this in 2012, and it was the last collection to have this, which I prefer it black, and I think it's really special that I have this. If you do go into a Chanel store, don't always rely on them knowing everything about every collection. They specialise in selling the current collection. They're not trained to know the ins and outs of every bag. They're not trained to authenticate. Some of them are, some of them have been there for years, but don't think you can go into a Chanel store and say, is this fake? Some of them will know, but they don't, so I don't advise that. I would advise reading some blogs or some articles online. If you're watching this video after the 8th of October 2017, you will see a link in the description box, and there's going to be another video coming out soon, how to spot a fake Chanel bag. I'll compare fake to real, and then I'm also going to do a detailed blog post on fake serial numbers, photos of fake bags, all the details about this inside. So if you're watching this past the 8th of October, I'm going to do detailed articles on my blog about this whole subject, but for now we're just going to touch on it. So the story behind this bag, I'd always wanted a Chanel bag, literally since I was about 12 years old. It was so far out of my reach, and one day I just thought I had my own flat at 23. I had lots of things to pay for. I was independent and I'd only just started working at Harrods. I had my student loan and I thought, no, I'm going to buy this bag. I saved up for absolute months. That was when I really started to stop buying high street in bulk, low-end brands like Vivienne Westwood and all these kind of bags where I was stepping into luxury. And I remember I went to the till on my lunch break. I had saved £2,600 and it had gone up that morning and it was 2,820, and I literally had about £60 in my bank account to last me the rest of the month. I had no choice but to go back a month later. And I finally bought it and it looks pristine really. It's lasted so well. And then I remember the bag after that, I kept thinking I just need a neutral colour for like the winter and weddings and things like that. And this is some advice I have for you. I bought the Chanel Executive. I don't have it anymore. I actually sold it very soon because I was never ever happy. I'll try and find a picture of it here. I was never happy with it. I should have gone with what I wanted, and that was this. It was a cheaper price, 2,800, and then by the time I decided that I wanted it, it was so expensive, nearly £1,000 more, and I just thought, do you know what? I'm going to sell that one, and I wasn't happy with it. So if you want the classic one and you've always wanted a Chanel bag, I really recommend you save that little bit extra and get the classic one. These ones sell like that. You will definitely make money on it if you sell it a year later, and don't learn from the mistake that I had. So I sold that and put the money towards this one. This is, of course, the original Coco Chanel bag. I should have actually brushed up on my knowledge before this, but I'm just going to do this naturally like all of my bloody videos, and the article will be factual, very factual. So if I'm not wrong, that this bag started in 1955. Little backstory, everybody knows about the this here inside for her love notes. Gabrielle was known for her love affairs with socialite and royalty. It was how she funded the start of the brand, and everybody knows about the love notes and how practical she wanted this. And I'm not sure if everybody knows the story about the chain. Gabrielle Chanel grew up in an orphanage, and the nuns that took care of the orphanage had these exact chains. She completely replicated the chains. They used to have them around their neck with the keys where they used to lock all the rooms, and that is what that chain is. And she was sick and tired of holding a top bag, and she was responsible for bringing in these long chain, more casual, more masculine bags. And then it was when Karl Lagerfeld took over a little while later that he revamped it into this, but they still kept this bag. So I bought the larger size. These are the most expensive classic Chanel bags. They are extortionate, absolutely extortionate now. So I'm really glad that I have one. And I've always said that this will be my bag that will be the one that I probably like the most when I'm older, because I find it very formal, but I just can't get rid of this one. I think I'll really regret it in later life, especially because I think it's a good 1,800 more than what I paid for it. The next bag that I bought, do you know, I can't even remember. Oh dear, what was the next bag? It was this one. Yeah, it was definitely this one. So this was a seasonal bag. I didn't want to get the classic in the red because it was just too much money. And I literally saw this one day and it was a seasonal bag. Sometimes the seasonal bags are great. And I got this for £1,600. I remember being so happy with it. It came out in white and in navy, and it did so well. They actually repeated it the season afterwards, which they never do. It's very rare when they do that. And then they literally bumped it up an extra 800, I think. So I was really lucky with this one. Sometimes I wrap it round and I have a shorter chain like this. It's actually very roomy. And the advice I have about the seasonal bags is make sure you still get something that you love, because the resale isn't as much of a seasonal. And I've said it before that Chanel will release a collection that's very expensive. Seasonal bags will be almost the same price as a classic or more, and then every other collection they'll do one that's really reasonable price costume jewellery. So I would always take a look out, and if you're not sure what's expensive and against an expensive or less expensive collection, just make sure you're following me on Instagram, because I'll always be shopping. I'll always be doing Instagram stories saying, right, Chanel was very expensive, this collection, some exquisite pieces, and I'll always keep you updated because it literally is my life. It's just a hobby, okay? I would also like to point out that every single bag here, except for the pink engagement one, every single bag here was bought by me. Or there's the old one that was the collaboration. Which one was the collaboration? I'll try and point that out. This one, for example, that was a collaboration. So they were all paid by me except for the pink one, which was my engagement bag from Paris. I don't buy anything on credit cards. I have a motto that if you can't afford to buy something twice, don't buy it, and never put yourself too much out. I mean, we all have to make a few sacrifices, but I'm very proud how I got every single one of these bags. And that's that. Right, next one. Then, okay, I'm starting to forget now, so now I'm just going to pick them up. Actually, I did get this one. This is a wallet on a chain. God, I've still got like really old cards in here. I don't tend to use this too much because I am always carrying bags like this or this. I've got my vlogging camera all the time. This used to fit before I started vlogging and having all my cameras, portable chargers. Literally, I weren't even vlogging and there was no such thing as a portable charger when I even bought this bag. But if I do want this when I'm older or traveling, I definitely want to keep it. This purse, I just bought it at Harrods and I had it in the staff room, and someone spilled all their oily lunch over it and it's completely stained and it never came out, and I really hope whoever did that gets bad karma, and I know who it was. So yeah, again, because it is stained, I won't really get much money for this, I don't think, and I just think it's nice to always keep, and red purses bring you wealth, apparently. The other bag I did get after was definitely this blue one. Okay, after the blue one, I'm going to forget which order it is in for sure. Ooh. So this sky blue one, as you know, I always love anything in baby blue, and still to this day I buy bags. So my first Hermes Kelly, if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave it in the link below. The first one I ordered was a black Kelly, same as when I got my first Chanel. Then the next one I got was a neutral colour, and that is how I still shop to this day. I'll get a neutral one that I can wear all the time. Usually it's black because it's more durable and you can wear that all year round. And then when I want to start investing in the second one, I'll go for like a beige or a grey, and then I'll go into a colour which will normally be baby blue or red, because I think red is still a classic colourful colour that you can wear with a lot of different things. So after I'd convinced myself, because I said I'd get a black one and a beige one and that was it, then I convinced myself I needed a red one just for a pop of colour. Then I convinced myself that I needed one more colour. And then when this came out, it was one that I just had to have. It was the perfect blue. It was a little bit bigger. At the time, I have another business that I don't really talk about. I keep it very separate from the blog. So this was a bag that I needed for work. I was always out and about going to meetings, and I still use that for when I'm having meetings and doing stuff completely separate from the blog. So this is a really good work bag that's not too heavy. This was a seasonal piece, and I think I paid 2,800 for this. And then they actually had one on Vestiaire about 3 weeks ago. So I'll leave the link to that, and then you can press that notify me when it next comes up. Oh no, I did do the reveal. I thought I forgot to do that. And I put it on my Instagram saying this is out, somebody get it, because I know so many people like this bag, and it literally sold within 5 minutes. So I always try and update you if I see any of these on Vestiaire Collective, and then I leave the link on my Instagram. So if there's any that you love, make sure that you'll follow me on other platforms, because I'll let you know if any of them are for sale, or even if I find like a really good pristine one that's a really good price of any of the others, I'll let you know. Oh my god, my sister texted me 3,000 messages. Next one that I got was this Jumbo Chanel. This was so hard to get hold of. These are impossible to get in the store, but I see them on Vestiaire Collective all the time. It's the best place to get a white Chanel bag on Vestiaire. So I'd convinced myself that I needed a jumbo. The jumbos, I love them, holding them over the shoulder, like on the side. They're very comfortable, they're not too heavy. This is the one, what was I going to say? Yeah, so it's exactly the same as the classic flap. They're very roomy. I do think having a jumbo Chanel is a great bag to have in your collection, but I wouldn't advise it for your first Chanel bag because they're a little bit too big for every day, little too big for the evening and weddings. I definitely wear these to weddings and I don't really play by the rules, but I would suggest getting this size first, and I would invest in getting a classic one. So that was the next one. Then I became obsessed with the boy bag. I actually got the first boy bag. This was the first, oh no, the executive toe was the first one. Oh, by the way, the executive toe is the only Chanel bag that they've ever discontinued, and I'll tell you why. It's a rumour why, I don't know for sure, that I've heard this rumour many times from many people, that the Chanel executive toe was getting a bit of a reputation as being, how do I word this? Do you remember when Daniela Westbrook wore the Burberry head to toe and her child was in it head to toe and everything was printed in very logo and it really tarnished the Burberry brand? They did an amazing job of like turning that around, and Burberry's been stronger than ever since. I literally love Burberry. And I think that Chanel nipped that in the bud before it was happening with the Chanel executive, and they did a really good, if it's true, they did a really good job to notice that it was getting a bit of a overworked, overused bag. Yeah, so I don't want to say too much to offend anyone, but they don't sell it anymore. And I'd already sold my bag and I knew it wasn't the right decision from the beginning. And I bought the Chanel, first ever, sorry I diverted then, I bought the very first Chanel bag, the ever boy bag that was released. I remember seeing it at work at Harrods thinking, what is this bag? And I literally thought it was a seasonal bag. They told me it was a seasonal bag. And then a year later, they announced that they was bringing it out as a classic, the boy bag. And it was lilac, very large, with Chanel written on the top. And they only brought that back last season with the Chanel on the top. So I loved that bag, I loved the colour, but it was just far too big and far too skinny. It was very impractical. So this was my other Chanel boy bag. And the Chanel bag is not the most trendy bag to have at the moment. It's kind of lost its appeal and lost its edge. I still have 3 boy bags. I'm still going to keep them because I think they'll come back around for sure. And I'm very boyish and masculine within my style, and it still suits me, and I still can carry off this size bag. I also love this minky beigey colour as well. It looks great with everything. I hope they improve this though, because if you have like a lip liner it just falls out. But I still really love the design of this bag. It's still very roomy, it's very basic inside. And that was the first boy bag that I got after the original one. Then I got this backpack. They always have these on Vestiaire Collective. I'll link a couple of like pristine ones and good value for money. This is a backpack from the 90s. They're my favourite backpack from Chanel. They're like a classic flap in a backpack. The ones made from the 90s are super good quality. Like the chains are very thick. The gold does not tarnish. No matter how many times you twist it, it never tarnishes. They were better quality back in the day. And I just love this bag. I can't recommend getting one of these enough. If you're into the backpacks, they will be cheaper than the new Gabrielle one. They're just really amazing quality. You can get them in white, in red. I've seen them in green. And I just think they're just super classic, and I really love this bag. So I'll link a couple of them. They've always got the odd one. Next I got, okay, let me be more sensible about this. I really didn't know how to show you these bags because I had so many, well, not that many, but, oh shut up, I'm just digging a hole for myself now. So I think the next boy bag that I got was this. And I remember when the velvet ones came out, I literally died. Do you remember when these were first released a couple of years ago? And they had them in black and purple and like a cobalt greeny colour. And I loved them so much. And I remember at the time, I was still buying bags, but I just thought, come on Claire, you don't need a velvet boy bag in your life. And then the next time they released, I was like, yes, I need that boy bag in my life. And I just thought a yellow velvet was completely unique to anything I'd ever seen. Leather yellow is a bit too bright for me, but I absolutely love this. I get so many questions. is it delicate? And it's not really, to be honest. Like, I've had this years, and it does have a slight colour transfer, but nothing major, and I haven't even attempted to clean this. So why I mentioned colour transfer, that's definitely something we need to talk about. Patent bags, you might think they're really durable, but they're absolutely not. I'm not the biggest fan of patent bags. I have two from like years ago, but I would never buy one again. I don't really like the look of it. I mean, the two that I have I love, but I definitely prefer the matted muted tones. Then they are durable for the rain, and they are more durable than lambskin apparently, but I actually don't think they are, because if you ever pretend this is patent, if you store your bags like this, never ever put a patent on patent fabric together. It will, the colour transfer, like they stick, and it almost heats together, and the colour goes under the coated seal, and there's no way you would get it out. Once I had a patent bag and I put it on my lap with a leather skirt, and it went completely black. It was your worst handbag nightmare. So be very careful with patent and completely store them on their own. Same goes for shoes. So don't think that paint's super durable, because it's not. The fabric bags are more durable than you think. They don't scratch. You can clean them. I think that I could probably get this off, whereas on a leather it's very tough. I am going to do a dedicated video to how I like all the tricks I've learned through throughout my years of having handbags. I do have a couple of really good tricks how to get some stains out, but it will be, this video will be too all over the place if I start talking about that. Plus I want to do like before and after examples. Whilst we're talking about fabrics and colour transfer and maintenance, we'll talk about this bag because it's a lambskin light coloured bag. When I saw this, I loved it and thought straight away, I'm not buying that. It is lambskin, it is light coloured, it is going to be a waste of money. I loved it so much, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I'd been working really hard at work and I thought, you know what, I love this. It was the first bag I ever saw with this. The trendies are out at the moment, it's called the Chanel Trendy, but this was the first release, and it is the best one because they've got this like nudie, lilac-y undertone to the beige, where the new one is like creamy beige, which I don't like as much. It's still great, but I prefer this one. So I bought this planning to not use it very often, and it will be my special bag. I ended up using it a lot because it is, I had a lot of questions, which is your favourite bag, and this is my second favourite. It's so practical. I love holding it like this. It's just so practical. It's kind of like the Kelly, which is one of the reasons why I liked it. It has 3 compartments. It's on its way to being quite a classic bag, I think, and I fully recommended it. This is the perfect length for crossbody or down the side. Love holding it like a top handle. It's one of my favourite Chanel bags of all time. It feels good to wear. Love wearing it. And can you see out any colour transfer? No, none. So all this stuff about lambskin being awful and stay away from it. Yes, it is slightly delicate. It's not going to be as durable as like a dark skin caviar, but the corners and everything about this bag is perfect. So don't be too scared. I would be more scared to get a patent than something like this. And there's so many different leathers. There's the coated caviar, the shiny coated, there's the matte coated lambskin. No, this is goat skin actually. There's all different kinds of leathers. So that's that one. Should we talk about my fave? This is my favourite Chanel bag. If I could keep one Chanel bag, I would have to keep the pink because it's so sentimental, but this is, if I had to keep one, it would be this. This is sentimental because it's my first one, but this is the dream. This is, they have one on Vestiaire Collective at the moment. They actually have 2, so I'll link that below. So I've had this for a couple of years now, and every time I wear it on my Instagram, on my blog, people say, where can I get this? And I'll always keep you updated when I see one of these for sale on Vestiaire. So, and then when I'm holding this in a blog post and I have those shop widgets, that shows pictures of everything I'm wearing, I'll always put a new one that's just been launched for sale on Vestiaire. I can't do that with any of the pre-loved websites online. I can only do it at Vestiaire Collective. That's why I'm always watching Vestiaire and always linking, because it's the best way to show you, and I can do that shop widget. So keep an eye on my shop page, keep an eye when I wear this, because I'll always link one that's just been released for sale. So I just love my favourite colour, goes with everything, so durable, and if you do want a light colour, the best way to go is the matte or standard caviar leather. And I always buy them in the same size because it's my favourite size. This one I got in, I just picked this up off the marble table when it was like stuck. You have to be so careful. This has even got a tiny bit of colour transfer, and there's no way, people say try nail varnish remover, but it doesn't really work, I don't think, and it takes out the colour. So this is my proposal bag from Paris. We stayed in the Beverly Hills Hotel, it was 5 years ago. And this is the colour of the Beverly Hills, which is why he bought me this. He got it in London from the Chanel store, and I'll tell you very quickly, but he went to get me a manicure and hair blow dried. Everything was closed because we were really late, and I thought, wow, this is really good service. They've stayed till like past closing, but they all knew I was being proposed to, and bless them, everybody stayed so that I could have my special night. Came back to the hotel room, roses all around the hotel room. I had notes all around the room. I think I've told you this story so many times. Notes all around the room. Each note led me to a different note. They all had riddles. And then the last one said, go follow the roses out into the balcony. There was all fairy lights. It said, lift up the towel. I found this bag, lost my mind, opened the bag, and there was a Beverly Hills note saying, will you marry me? So this is extremely sentimental, and so is the Beverly Hills Hotel. And they actually have another one of these on Vestiaire, so it's great to look if there's bags from years ago that aren't out yet. They might be doing this new in Chanel, but it might not be this Beverly Hills pink, so always check out on there. They literally have this online at the moment, the exact same one, and they also have the rectangle one, so if you like this one, I'll leave you the link below to save you looking for it. Sorry that I have to just insert this of the bag on the table, but I was packing everything away and realised that I'd forgotten this bag. So you'll notice that I was a bit hesitant now and again throughout the video, because when I was counting how many there were, when I was trying to explain which ones I hadn't paid for, I knew there was a bag missing, and it was this one. So this was my wedding gift from Paris. It's very sentimental, which is why I cannot believe I forgot it. It was launched summer 2015, and it's a knitted, as you can see, seasonal bag. I absolutely love it. I think it's really unique. It came in 2 sizes, 2 different colourways. The other one was a khaki one, and they actually have one on Vestiaire at the moment, so I just wanted to show you that because it's very special, very unique bag. The next one I had is this velvet bag. I love the velvet Chanel bags. I think they're really durable. I just love how they feel, and I just really love velvet. And I wear this all year round, but in winter it is very nice to wear. And these still fit my iPhone 7, so this is a great starting point for your first Chanel bag as well, because they are very practical. I then have this rose gold one. They came in these sizes, which I really wanted, but I went for the wallet on a chain because I went for a stage of really loving the wallet on a chain. If you're thinking about getting your first Chanel bag, I really recommend the wallets on a chain. They're very good value for money. I mean, I remember when the caviar skin was 770 and the lamb skin was 880, and now they're like 2,200, I think. And now caviar and lambskin are the same price, which I found that very weird when it first happened years ago. So rose gold is a bit of a special fancy colour, so I thought I'd have that for my evening bag. But I actually love wallet on a chains for every day. They actually fit my iPhone 7, they fit my mini purse, they fit all my cards, they've got card pockets, they fit my keys. They're actually very practical and fit a lot more than you think. I've got a blog post about this showing you exactly what fits inside. I think the last bag, no, we've got one more. I went for a bit of a wallet on a chain. Oh, that's it. Wallet on a chain phase. These are actually really hard to get hold of now, this style, which they never used to be. I wanted standard, I wanted black, neutral, black, neutral and a colour. It's like a thing that I always do, but I love these bags and I have one colour for each occasion. Don't need another one, like that's already greedy. So yeah, don't be scared of the wallet on the chains, they're actually very practical. Okay, last one is my Chanel Deville. I got this, these used to be hideously hard to get hold of, and they still are. They're still not that easy to get hold of, but they come out most collections now, but I've never seen a grey one. At the moment it's beige, which I really like, the beige one. I love this bag, I've worn it to death. It's like sun damaged and faded because I take it on every single holiday. And I think if you're too precious about your bags, you don't enjoy them, but obviously you've got to have some certain element of looking after them. But this is the perfect beach bag, the perfect travel bag, can't recommend these enough. And honestly, the best place to get them is Vestiaire Collective because they sell them all year round, normally very good condition. Some countries have other colours. That's a good thing to look out for the grey, the Dove Grey Chanel, because America gets these Dove Grey colours and pale pastel colours more than Europe do. Europe get the Parisian chic colours like burgundy and navy and all these colours that I don't wear. So if America and Europe have a different buy, so I recommend shopping pre-loved on Vestiaire if you want to look for a colour that's not normally in England or Europe. So yeah, that's the last bag I wanted to talk about. Love the Chanel Deville. It's not really an obvious bag to get, but I just think you can use them every day. I think they're like great baby bags, great push present. I don't think I'll ever get one of those, but God, so I think that's long enough. Sorry if I rushed it, but I really wanted to not make it too long so that you lose your attention span, but I did also want to cover as many useful things as possible. In terms of storing your bags, that was one of the questions that I have. I keep mine on a shelf, as you can see here. I don't like to keep anything touching each other for colour transfer. With the bags like the Deville or this one, I normally put the dust bag in there and maybe another spare dust bag to keep its shape. I keep all of the boxes because I can't bear to throw them away. And also if you're travelling or maybe moving, it's good to have them in there. I keep the authenticity cards in the Chanel box, which is a pain when I need to find them. But don't keep them in your actual Chanel bag because if they ever get stolen or you ever get robbed, that's perfect, an ideal thing to give to the thief, having the authenticity card inside. If you are worried that you've bought something pre-loved and it isn't authentic, you can look up the serial number in a website, which I'll leave a link below. You can type it in and it should be able to tell you. That you can go and take into Chanel because there you can put the serial number in and it will tell you the exact bag that it should be. If it comes up that someone's reported it stolen, they will confiscate the bag off of you, so just be warned about that. And that's why you have to be very careful when buying pre-loved and buy somewhere trusting. So to summarise, first Chanel bag, I recommend the classic flap. They are very expensive, but always remember you can resell them for more. I advise selling the bags that you have just to get the one that you really love. Go and buy pre-loved to get a good deal. Nothing wrong with buying one a bit older or starting off vintage. Wallet on a chains, very practical. And then also the small square flat bag, which is what that's called. Something else I want to end this on that frustrates me. This is the Chanel 2.55 bag. This is a Chanel classic flat. Don't get them confused. I see so many pre-loved sites that say, oh, Chanel 2.55 for sale. And I'm like, how can you sell Chanel bags and not even know what they're called? Classic flap 2.55. And that's the original. So I hope that was useful. I'm going to put a street style outfit of this on my blog. I'm going to be showing you how I wear it. Some of you might want to shy away from a backpack, but trust me, they're very versatile, so keep an eye on the blog and the Instagram for how I wear this. And make sure you subscribe because I've got the Chanel How to Spot a Fake Bag, how to get rid of colour transfer and avoid colour transfer, and also don't forget to read the blog if you're watching this past the 8th of October because there'll be a whole blog post on fake Chanel bags and how to spot them. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, and don't forget to leave me a comment below if there's something I didn't cover. I hope that was not disappointing. I always stress and put pressure on myself when it's something a lot of people have asked for, but keeping it simple I think is the best way. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.